I think a lot of those stories were crazy hard things, right? But they held on, and then possibilities emerged.
I love that. I've never
Right?
heard it that one, so I love that.
Ah, you're welcome. I love acronyms.
Yes, yes, and that's one I've heard. Hold on, pain ends.
Mm.
That's it. But I like your version there.
You know what I really want to do on this one? I've never done this for yours too. It took me 5 years to learn. It's that a lot of times I would sit here and talk or talk with you about the pain, about the heartbreak, about all the losses, right? And I think sometimes we get stuck in that, right? Like we get stuck in that story, we get stuck in that moment. And then that moment becomes, rather than a moment, it becomes days and weeks and months and sometimes years, right? That we're stuck in that pain, right? And rather than like look for ways out of the pain, I think then we're just focused on the pain. I think it's about creating something other than just the pain,
Yes.
right? And that led me into my other hope, and this is the one that someone said, "How do you get to the life of your dreams?" And I said, "Hope." All right, and they said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "How we created some things that really mattered to us was we stayed hungry, we became obsessed, right? We were persistent, and then you become elite." Right? And why I thought that was really important is the end brings it home, right? It gets to out of whatever you're in to another level.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we really want. So this year I'm really focused on that with you. It's like, let's move, let's let the hope lead us somewhere.
I love that. I love that because even coming into this year five, to me, it's a celebration. You know, it's a celebration, and even though it's here because of a moment in my life that could have kept me stuck in that. Like I chose not to. It's like we've got to do something with it. It's certain things just become imprints, but you're going to carry them with you. But what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do moving forward? What's going to emerge, right? So what do you tell that person without wanting to just like hit them in the head, like move on, use it, do something with it? What do you tell that person?
Right? I'll take a page out of Trent Shelton's book, right? Current destination isn't the final location, right? And I think that's extremely important. I'm sorry, Mandy killed me with trying to spell out hope in the words, but she did HPCE. And I was like, what? And then that tricked me. Then I had to remember what I said. So that got me a little bit. Sorry. This is why you shouldn't have me ever look at anything other than you, because my ADHD takes over. But and I think like your current situation, your current position, your current spot doesn't have to be the end spot, right? And as you've done from a moment of pain, right, you have created so much impact, right? You've created a legacy, you created a movement, right? You have given over 100 people voices and amplified them, right? Because of a moment of pain. So anyone going through it, anyone that's been through it, like this isn't the end, right? This is a moment, and a moment lasts as long as you let it. So I make fun of Tony Robbins an awful lot because I think he just copied a bunch of what he says. He just doesn't give anyone credit. But one thing he says that I absolutely love is pain is inevitable. That's part of life. We are going to experience pain. All right, so let's not act like we can try to avoid that forever. That is going to happen in our life. Okay. Struggle is a choice, right? Because pain is the shattering of one's reality, right? Your husband died. Your reality shattered,
In a moment.
right?
Yep.
Like the life you knew was over,
Yes.
right? Like they passed, but your life as you knew it was over, right? It was like, I made a post about this. It's like we die thousands of times.
Yeah.
And a version of us comes out of this until the last time, right? Even then, a version of you comes out. It's called your legacy, but whatever. So your life shattered. Now, struggle is refusing to create a new reality. If you kept saying like he should be back here, he needs to be back, right? And you might have had moments like that. Like I just wish like another call, like another conversation, right? I think we all have those moments still at times for people I've lost. I'm like, man, one more call, right? One question, right? Something of that nature. But staying in that's the struggle, that's the choice, right? It's because the way out of the struggle is creating your new reality, right? And that's like trying things, right? Like being curious, taking chances, right? Like you came to an event and you were like, oh, I'm going to speak at this. All right, and then you spoke at an event, and then what did you do? Went and hosted your own events in that space. You already did things in other spaces, but in that space, right? And it was like, oh, one step. Oh, I'm creating a reality. I'm going to create this reality. I'm going to create. Oh, I'm not getting on as many stages as I want. Bet I'm going to make my own stage. Right? Oh, I'm not getting on as many podcasts I want. I'm going to make my own podcasts, and then I'm going to make a whole network to have everyone else's be seen too. Right? Like each thing is a step, and each one of those is creating a new reality. Right, like a new life. So it's, if we want to get out of that moment, we have to stop trying to live in a life that does not exist anymore. And create the new one.
It is. So when you meet people, because there are those. So this brings me to a question. Okay, that struggle that you choose to sit in, and it is true. You can play it. You can ruminate it. You can hit rewind and play as many times as you want, and listen to the same thing. And what do you say? Because I saw something where people said healing is a choice too, and healing doesn't have to take a long time if you choose for it not to. So with the struggle, I mean, like, how do you help someone that just thinks that they just have to keep playing this over and over? Like, are there any times you wanted to shake somebody and say, like, you're doing this to yourself?
When first of all, you asked me that. I've been in trouble for doing that exact thing. So yes, right. And sometimes I actually have, but it's been a long time.
I believe it.
But yes. Sometimes one, I think we need to be very honest about this too. The healing journey, you can heal pieces faster and other pieces longer, but it's also an onion, right? Like you heal something, and that's going to be great, and that's progress, and that's what we want. But also then at the same time, like it's going to bring you to another level or layer of something that you're going to decide if you want to take that journey of healing, which I hope you do, to continuously heal different layers of yourself. Because the damage isn't just a bruise that's going to heal. The damage is deeper, right? And there's layers to this, right? Because multiple things come from loss. Multiple things come from losing someone you love, or losing something you love, or a time or moment that you love, right? There's different layers to it of the loss, of the grief, of the abandonment, right? Like there's numerous different levels to this. So to think there's just like one and you're like, oh, you're done. That's so easy. Look at that. Like I don't want to lie about it either. But one of the things I always say, like whoever, there's two questions I would ask. The person you lost, is this what they want for your life? Right? Yep. And then the other one is like, whatever it is you're going through, do you want this to be the thing that is you?
That's
right. Like, right? Because listen, my pops was brilliant, right? Like he was one of the most brilliant men, if not the most brilliant man I've ever come across. I'd probably say is, right? Still to this day, he hasn't been around for a long time, right? And he's still the most brilliant man I've ever come across. I always said, like, people are like, damn, you got real clever. And I was like, I had two geniuses as parents. So it was like, to try to get away with something was had to be a masterpiece of the second. So, with my pops at the end, it almost was like he quit, right? Because he peaked, and he was so high, so young, that he would never be able to top that in his mind. He lived in a moment that was previous, so he quit doing things to live, right? And one of the worst things for me with him was the ending was him quitting. Right, so for a while, that's what I viewed him as.
Okay.
Right, and so then, like a couple things happened. One, I had to forgive, right, show grace, right. It was a lot of things happening in life that I don't understand or know, right. It was his life, his battles, right, and I have to give him the grace that he fought the way he knew how to fight and did what he knew how to do. He loved me the way he knew how to love, and all those things, right. And the other thing, it was like, I don't want my life to ever be that. So it's every time, no matter how big or small the win, no matter how big or small the loss, it's like we're going to keep moving. Right? And it's because I don't want that moment in time to define me. right? And I think that's like one of the things you got to ask: do you want this moment in time and how you're being to define you? And that's all
huge.
you were.
And that's a lot. That's a question that I think a lot of people don't take the time to sit with at all. You know.
Yes. Right. We don't think about it because we think about the loss or we think about the pain.
Yeah.
We think about
Yeah. And you know, when you talk about like the layer and the onions and all of that, to me, and you're gonna probably crack up. I don't know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But do you know that it took me turning 50 years old and having a conversation that I actually realized I dealt with abandonment issues? Like,
no way.
I told somebody like, yeah, my dad left me when I was like 8, and you know, and just carried on. But I had never attached that term to all my years of shit. So
Right.
when you talk about the layers, like heck, I came up with a brand new one, turning 50 years old that I carried my whole life. So it's true. Like it's nothing is a straight and narrow path, and it's constantly just, you know, you're just finding your way. But you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep taking those steps. What would you tell somebody right now that does feel low on hope?
Tell them get curious. Right? Like, I love that thought of just get curious. And there's a great part of Ted Lasso. It's a show, but you can like Google or YouTube, just click, and it's about curiosity. It's like, but they're talking about judgment. A lot of people pass judgment rather than being curious, right? And it kind of goes through a lesson. He ends up beating the guy in darts because the guy didn't ask the right questions because he wasn't curious. He just judged him and thought he couldn't throw a dart, right? But get curious, ask questions, try things, look things up. I gave a whole presentation about a tree once, right? Because I started looking up trees, and like the correlation of trees and humans was insane to me, right? And it was all because I was like, let's get curious. A lot of life signs have trees in them, right? Let's start looking up, and maybe there's a deeper meaning to this other than just using a tree for this logo, right? But it's like, be curious about things, try things. Listen, I never thought I would like speaking. I still don't like speaking, but I speak a lot, right? I never thought I'd be doing that. I never thought I'd be guiding people in business, right? Like I thought I'd just keep building my own, right? Like I never thought that. So the things, I never thought I would coach basketball, like coach young men, right? Like, and I coached Pee Wee up to college, right? So I never thought those things would happen. They weren't like all these plans that I had forever and they just played out perfectly. It was that being curious led me to trying things, and trying things led me to find things that spoke to my soul, right? And then we get like deeper into it about like contribution and fulfillment and the things that like light you up internally. I never would have found them if I wasn't curious and didn't try things.
And that I think is so cool because it brings me, I'm kind of cracking up because my dad, I think, is like wanting to be part of the conversation because I'm like, why are you in my head again, right? But when you say curious, you know, he was a entrepreneur, very kind of like like when you said your dad like did so much early and then kind of like peaked, if you will. And my dad, that very, very successful at a very young age, kind of too fast, didn't know how to handle it, right? But one of the things that he would always do is bring home like pottery kit, microscope, calligraphy kit, paint, you know, and he said, you will never know what you're good at if you don't try all kinds of things. So that was, listening to you being curious, I was too young to understand being curious, but he knew to do the different things. And so what a gift you can give somebody to try it. How do you know if you love it or not? How do you know if you like, you could be a genius at this and not know if you don't get curious about it and just try it. So I love that advice or that take on hope of getting curious. That's awesome.
All right. I mean, think about the things you love to do. You weren't born knowing you loved them.
Yeah.
Right. You were willing to try something different, got curious about it, dove a little deeper, and you're like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've worn a lot of different hats in your life. I'm sure you didn't know all those hats were going to be worn when you were like 12 years old. Let me tell you exactly what I'm going to do. Right?
No, I was playing bar. All my friends were playing with dolls, and I was serving up drinks. So for you, how do you like like to spark that curiosity in like everyday conversation with people just to see what it does for them.
Yeah. So one, you know how awkward I am, right? And I like things awkward because I'm just an awkward person. So like I try to make it awkward so I'm comfortable, right? Like everybody's like, why do you make everything awkward? I'm like, this is where I'm comfortable, guys. All right. So yes, one of the first questions I actually ask somebody is like, what makes your heart beat? I don't care what you do. Like, no offense. Like, don't tell me your job title. Yeah, good luck. Good job. All right. Like, whatever it is. Cool. All right. Hope you enjoy it. All right. My thing is like, I want to know you. Like we talked about this yesterday, the heart of a person.
Yeah.
I want to know your heart. All right. So like, what makes your heart leap? What do you absolutely love? Where do you find the most fulfillment? Right? Where are you the most passionate? Right? And those questions of curiosity, right? Being interested in someone else, but like actual person, right? When you ask those questions now, the person's going to answer one, they're answering things they're passionate about. You answer and do things you're passionately about differently than you do things you don't like. Right? So now I have them in a conversation that they're actually like engaged in, rather than running through the whole like, what do you do? How long have you done it? Right? Like what car do you drive? Right? Like things no, unless you're giving me a car, I don't care. Right? So it's let's get them to where like they're really engaged in this, and I get to see kind of who they are and what they're about, and know how long I want this conversation to go on for. Right? So I think like that's one of the things. The way you ask questions, right? It's like you know that in the coaching world.
Yeah.
Like there's people that come to me about business, and I can see what the issue is, right? But that's not the issue, right? That's the result of the real issue, which I got to ask you questions for you to understand that you're there, and then we can address the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's as easy as for me to hit post on social media as it is for you to hit post, as it is for the person that posts none.
Yeah.
It's as easy to hit that button as anyone else's. Right? So, like, when someone's like, oh, dude, I just can't post, I'm like, yeah, you can. Right? So, that's not it.
Yeah.
So, I think when we get curious, we ask those questions and dive deeper and not stay surface level. I think that's when we really can get to know ourselves and get to know others.
And get to that heart, get to the root and the heart of who somebody is. And so that is an interesting question. I would love to know, like whoever is tuning in the comments, what makes your heart leap? Like, let's ask that question today. What makes your heart leap? That's absolutely beautiful. And so for you, you are a sponsor, Unleash You Now Mastermind, in the Movement Maker Live and all the things that you do. You are a sponsor. So what is something exciting that you have coming up that you might want to share?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's a lot. One, I want to give a shout out to a lot of the Unleashed. They're doing things. All right, so a lot of them, you see some of them in the chat, they've been there, but a lot of them are either hosting events or expanding their business or being more willing to be seen and being out there, right? Being more consistent in their posting and communicating with their audience, right? Like they're doing so many things that inspire me to do more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right? And I mean, one of the things you can say you love about a community is people inspire you to do more. All right, so first thing I want to say is that because a lot of them have things coming up literally starting August. And I told people like August to December, I think I'm like dead, right? Like I don't think I can do anything anywhere. I think every like week is spoken for. And I was like, that's awful. I mean, also, I'm sorry. Yeah, like, it's nonstop movement. I'm like, great. Right? This is exactly how I planned my life. So that's exciting though, because you see them taking charge, especially now because the economy is not what it was. We wrote a 10+ year bull economy. I don't care about your political views, right? We wrote a 10+ year bull economy. We have ran a couple years of not, right? We're still in it, 6 to 18 months, right? So when things get harder, a lot of people run, right? Like I can say statistically from our experience in the space, this is what happens. The economy gets tougher. What happens? People stop taking courses, right? Stop going to events, leave communities because they're like, nope, save, right? And we go into retreat. We go into how can we, and don't get me wrong, there's a time when lean and mean is it, right? And I agree with lean and mean, but I don't agree with lean and mean to miss growth.
Yes.
I agree. There's other ways to get lean and mean and not miss growth, right? Because we need to, if any time we need to grow, it's during the harder times. The easier times, it's easier. We can grow less, right? Like, I feel like it commonly adds up there. The equation's easy to follow. I failed third grade, so if I follow it, I feel like any of us
That
don't,
works.
right? One, I think that's a time when people are retreating. That means there's more turf to gain, right? So I'm big look for opportunities during those times too, because you'll find them. You'll find whatever you look for, right? So that's exciting that I see people going for it. That I see people gaining turf, right? Because this is always the truth. If you can find a way to make it to the hard, the good will be rewarding for you.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So that is the time we're in. So I'm really excited about the people that are doing the damn thing, right, and building during a time when a lot aren't. Right. I think that's going to position themselves for when this turns to be in a great position to run and claim more turf. Then, of course, Moonmaker Live. This is the last one we're doing this way. So I'm super excited about that. We have a lot of people coming back that I absolutely love to be in the room with, and doing it one more time the old Skipper way.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a proper send off,
I love that.
and it's rarely in the space that you can end something on your terms. Right? Typically, the space either dictates it or time runs out for you, and you're just done. All right. So I'm excited that we give a proper goodbye to MML that's been around for 7-8 years. Right. That was like our original jump into the space kind of move as a conference style, and to send it off properly. I'm excited for that.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that. And what is something that Michael is grateful for today?
Ooh, there's so many. The people in the chat, people dropping blue and green, the people that rep, the movement. This movement is something near and dear to my heart. Right, like this is something serious to me. So anyone that reps it, moves it forward, I owe a piece of my life to. They carry my brother's legacy with them, so that matters to me. So everyone that does that, you guys are rock stars. I appreciate and love you for jumping into the movement that you didn't have to. And then carry the flame even when I'm not around. And let me tell you, you're all flames because you're not lights. All right, lights shine, flames light others up. You are flames. You light others up. I'm thankful for you. Right, I'm grateful for you for doing this, for giving us the opportunity, for seeing lives change, for seeing people impacted, for people to gain hope, belief, strategy, and tactics, whatever it is that they get from it. You say reach one, your job is done. You've reached many more than one today, so your job is done for a long time, I guess.
For at least the next 24 hours.
Yeah, after you sleep a little bit, but and listen, I've had hard days, like we all have had. I've experienced loss, kind of cuts and breaks your heart, right? And your heart never heals or looks the same way after. There's always a difference in it because of it. And at the same time, I'm extremely grateful, man, because I got to experience love, right? I got to call their men brothers, right? From the fist fights to the smiles, to the wins, to the losses, no matter how big or small, right? Like I was talking about it, whenever my time is up, I had a hell of a run. Right? I was supposed to be gone over 20 years ago, so I had a hell of a run. I'm grateful for every day, for all the experiences I got to have, the love of a daughter, to see my mom grow old, right? Like things you're not promised or guaranteed in this world that a lot of us take for granted. And I was a lot of us. I took a lot of things for granted, and life had to school me a little bit. I think like all of us, right?
It tends to do that sometimes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very grateful that I got to experience the life I've got to. Whatever long I got is just bonus.
I love that. And from a woman, female perspective, a lot of times you hear them complaining that they're getting older and oh my gosh, I got wrinkles and like all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it's a blessing to get older. Not everybody gets that gift. Not everybody chooses that gift. And so to me, I'm like, bring it. Look at my gray hair. But it is a gift.
I tell my mom that all the time. My mom says getting old sucks, and I said it beats the alternative. Right? And like it might be harder, but it beats the alternative. So
Absolutely. All right, my dear friend,
I appreciate it.
we got one last final round that you can just pour out whatever you want to say to the viewers out there. Oh, we got Giselle. She's saying that part. So just this is it. Your last like little finale for the 5th annual Streamathon.
All right. Well, first I'll start with something for everybody. You're worth it. Like whatever it is, whatever it is you dream of, whatever it is you hope you want your life, you're worth it. Go get it. All right. You just got to do it. Just keep going. All right. Every day. Go at it. Go at it. Go at it. And step back. Keep going at it. Here's the deal. Don't stop. The only time you stop is the last time your eyes open. So you won't even know. So you're winning, or you won't know you didn't. All right. Create your masterpiece. The last part I would say is thank you, Elena. Thank you for doing this. You don't have to. Thank you for taking the time and the energy. Thank you for sitting here 24 hours straight, which is ridiculous. Right? I remember when you came to me with the idea, and I was like, what? I was like, okay, I get it. I like it. Right? It reminds me of the old like when growing up when they had on TV
That's
the
where
phones.
it came from. Jerry
Yeah.
Telethon. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it reminded me of that. To do this, to take the time, put all these speakers on here, to organize this, to schedule it. I don't think anyone really understands the work that it takes, the energy it takes, and they're like, "Oh, it's easy, nice little virtual thing," and I'm like, right. So, for you to do that, for you to take the time and the love and the care to do that, it speaks wonders for the person you are. All right. So never let anyone believe you're less than the person you are, because you're the person that'll do something like this, and few would. So appreciate you.
And I'm like doing that all the time now.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for like sliding in here 6 minutes
course.
after moving. But I love you and
Got my workout in, got my heart workout. You guys poured into me, I poured out there. This is
yeah.
beautiful.
Javier will be coming on here later, so we'll get to hear from
Good.
him. So
Hopefully you showered.
there you go. So love you. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
All right, we'll see ya. Okay. Oh my goodness, that was like amazing, and gets me all choked up. I get all emotional, and so here we are, segment 2, just kicking off segment 2. We've got our next guest coming on. This beautiful soul, I've had the privilege of knowing for kind of a short amount of time. We haven't known each other for years, but it's amazing at how we have connected already, and she chose to sponsor what we are doing this year without even ever experiencing the Streamathon. So I think that is beautiful. She's the founder of Next Together and the creator of Becoming Based Coaching, which is a framework for people navigating the messy middle of major life disruption. And I want to be able to give her so much more time. And we've got Miss Carrie Darling coming on here, so we'll bring her to the stage. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so honored. Thank you.
How are you?
So good. How about you?
Good. Doing wonderful. Just rocking and rolling, and we keep it going. So this is your first Streamathon.
It is.
So tell me, have you been able to tune in, catch anything? What are you thinking about it all?
I love it. Michael was amazing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely amazing. But I've been listening on and off all day. So I'm just motivated. My heart is full. It's just so good. This is something I want to be part of forever.
Yay! Thank you. I love hearing that. That means that it's touching souls in the way that it's meant to while we're here. So I will start off by just asking you one of the most basic questions for this whole thing is, what does hope mean to you?
I think for me, hope means that you don't have to have your whole future figured out. Life experiences, grief, loss, whatever it is, it can feel incredibly isolating, especially around holidays, in your case. And it doesn't have to. So hope for me means community, and community is a big part of spirituality. For me, spirituality is relationship. So it's relationship with God, our higher power. It's relationship with other people. It's relationship with yourself. It's relationship with the environment around you. And hope is not giving up. So it's knowing that even though it feels really bad and it feels really hard, that there are people to support you, and there is something good that is coming next.
I love that. There is something good that is coming next. Imagine if you had that post-it note in your face every day, all day, for that reminder that something good is coming next. Is that why you named your business Next Together?
Yeah, that's a part of it. And I don't want, the other piece is the community piece, because I don't want people to feel alone. Some of the things that I went through, I realized that I didn't have community, I didn't have the support that I needed. So when someone is going through something, I want them to know that we're going to go through it. The next thing we do will be together.
Love that. I mean, that's like, did it just dawn on you that knowing that meaning that, okay, this is going to be the name of like the next thing that I build?
When I found it, I knew that that was the thing. I had I started with like Carrie Walker coaching, and then I went through a couple of iterations. But when I found that, it was like, this is it. This is the thing that I've been looking for. And so that was the thing.
That's a beautiful. And, you know, because you are a sponsor, and I want to give you that space to kind of segue into what happened in your life, like what was the experience that then draws this service-based business out of it, because a lot of times these things don't come easy when you're called to them.
No, it wasn't an easy experience. And we all go through hard things, and I've always been a person who believed that action is better than no action, even if it's the wrong thing to do. So you and I have in common that we both lost a spouse. I have been in other difficult situations, homelessness, financial different things. And as I went through all of those things, the way that I coped, the way that I dealt with those things was I went to work and I did my job. And I was working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. And in 2025, I got stopped. In May of last year, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer accidentally, and I'm doing really well now.
So like you were diagnosed, like it was an accident that they found it, like you didn't go in because there was issues happening?
I wasn't, I was having symptoms that we didn't realize were cancer related, but I woke up in the middle of the night and I passed out and fell and hit my head.
Oh, wow.
And so we wound up in the emergency room. And as we're in the emergency room, they came into the room and they said, we found a large mass on your pancreas and we're very concerned and we have to do more scans. So they did like 6 scans, and that was kind of what they left us with at that point in time was, you have a large mass on your pancreas and we're very concerned. So we're kind of Dr. Googling through the whole thing. And at that point, we thought I had pancreatic cancer, which typically does not have a very good outcome.
Yeah.
And we were terrified. And that's what they sent us home with. And for 3 weeks, that's what we had to work with while we went through biopsies and more tests.
Wow.
I think in that time period, we went through all of the stages of grief multiple times. I was convinced that I was dying. I was just sure that I was going to die, and it stopped me. As it turned out, my diagnosis was actually stage 4 non-Hodgkin's follicular lymphoma, which has a much better prognosis. So it's a recurring cancer, so we expect that it will come back at some point, but for right now, I'm doing really well. There were so many miracles, so many things, Elena, that happened in my story that just blow me away when I think about it. I mean, the first one was, as we're walking out of the hospital, because I had just changed jobs at that point. So I had been at a new job for 4 weeks. And as we're walking out of the hospital, I turned around and I said to the nurse, I said, this just really doesn't work for me right now. I can't do this. I said, because I'm not going to have any insurance after next week. So we can't do cancer. That isn't, and she looked at me and she said, you need to get COBRA. And I had 1 week left to get COBRA. So we went home, signed up for COBRA. And even though we had to make the COBRA payments, we had met our deductible by April of last year. And $500,000 of bills were covered. And that was just the first miracle. There have been so many that have happened since.
I have to share with you because our stories have been similar, you know, like we were talking. And so I know we're live, but I have to share this part. I had left my corporate job. And then it was so many weeks later that my husband had his heart attack, and we were going to be discussing what we were going to do with insurance. Were we going to do Cobra through his, you know, we were going to be discussing it. And then he had his heart attack. So when I'm sitting in the hospital, a friend of mine happened to visit that day and brought a gift, and she said, I think I said something about, I don't think we're even covered right now. Like, I don't think, you know, and she said, she said, call and check on your dates, because there's, you know, you always have like so much time. This was on a Thursday. That Friday was my cutoff date.
Wow.
And I mean, if it would not have been her to say, just double check on that. And so it was by one day, and they had said, like, yeah, if you put the Cobra check, you know, I think I had to pay for like 2 months, but it like retroed back. But she's like, go ahead and put it in the mail, it'll be postmarked. And my mom said, no, honey, write the check, I will go drop it off. But if we not have done that, we're talking 25 days in ICU. Like, but to me, I look at it as a blessing like that. Like, just a random friend saying, hey, you should really double check on that. And I
Right.
had one day, like, or I would have missed it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you had the Cobra thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I look at the cancer, and I would never say that cancer is a gift. When they called me, they actually called me on the phone and told me that I had cancer. And I was standing in my office at my new job, and they called me and said, you have cancer. They said, but you have the good kind. And I don't know what you do with that. I didn't know I didn't know at the time, and I don't know now what you do with that. So I wouldn't say there's a good kind of cancer or the cancer is good. But I would say, for me, the experience of cancer has been the best gift that I've ever received. Absolutely the best thing that could have happened to me, because it stopped me. And it made me think about what is important, what am I doing with my life, and what do I want to do with my life. And what I had been doing was getting up and going to work. And the job that I was in at the time was incredibly toxic. I was in an incredibly difficult work environment. And I got to a point where I said, I'm not doing this. Not because they weren't working with me, because they were.